Underwater hockey is an intense sport. It's a mix of hockey and swimming, a little bit of free diving in the sense that there's breath hold as well. It's a game with two sides. Typically we play with either 4 versus 4 or 6 versus 6. At the start of the buzzer, the 4 or 6 players on either side would rush towards the center where there's a puck at the bottom of the pool, and the goal of the game is really for one team to put the puck into the opponent's goal. This sport was actually first played in 1950s. It was founded by this guy called Alan. I'm not making this up. In the 1950s, it was really cold winter in UK, and the scuba diving people found that they had to do something to keep their divers occupied in winter. They basically had a little round rubber-coated weight that they had at the bottom of the pool, and they pushed it around on long sticks. It actually evolved to become a much shorter version of the stick, where each stick is about 30 cm long only. As a competitive swimmer myself, I was used to having free access to oxygen and air. Anytime I want to sprint, it's really easy for me to recover as long as I manage to control my breathing. But with underwater hockey, there are only limited pockets of time when you can take a breath. In order for us to move fast, we find an optimal balance of a quick cadence versus making sure each stroke is as efficient as it can get. Underwater hockey requires 6 pieces of equipment. There's the water polo cap, there's a mask and a snorkel, there's a glove which protects your hand, and a hockey stick that's about 30 cm long, and you have a pair of fins. I remember that I was about 18 years old in NS. I went for a scuba diving trip over one weekend. I looked quite comfortable underwater, or I like to think that I am. So one of the friends actually was on that dive trip and he said, "Oh, there's this sport that's in Singapore and it's pretty new. Do you want to come and try it out?" I went for my first session and I never looked back. And I think the Singapore community has been really blessed to participate in the 2019 SEA Games. Since then, we've had so much to do in underwater hockey to promote and grow the sport. I would say that there's always been some recognition since 2004 that there was this group of people playing this obscure sport at Queenstown Swimming Pool. It wasn't until 2019 when we made a clean sweep of 4 gold medals at the SEA Games in the Philippines that the sporting establishment really set up and took notice and said, "Oh, okay, wow." It's great that recently we have had some footage where we actually filmed ourselves playing underwater hockey, and a video or picture speaks 1,000 words. We just show them, okay, this is actually the sport I'm talking about on my mobile phone, and they're like, "Oh, it looks like fishes feeding." It's so much harder as a niche sport because you're struggling against availability of venues to play the sport at, making sure that there are funds that are available to be able to play the sport, because from fins, for example, each pair of handcrafted fins from France costs about $600 each. On the other hand, because it's niche and because everyone playing underwater hockey knows that it's such a struggle, it's really forged a really tightly knit community such that we call each other the underwater hockey family. But currently we have about 160-ish members in the association. We are a totally self-funded society. Our cash reserves are all from members' fees that they pay every time they turn up for training, even till today. And to me, that's really important. Being able to make connections with many other fellow human beings who are striving for the same excellence for the same sport, and who are just happy to see the sport grow and expect nothing else in return. Not just in Singapore, but in Asia and globally as well. That to me is really rewarding.